All right, commissioners. Good morning. Welcome to Committee of the Whole. So we have 8 items on the agenda today. We have an executive session immediately following COW, and then we're back in here at 11 for 2 special briefings. So we have a briefing today at 11 on the Redevelopment Ready Communities Report. Economic Development is doing this in partnership with MEDC. Those are some rules that came down from MEDC. And then at 11:30, we'll get an update on the public library with Marsha Warner. All right, so that's our morning together. So we'll get started with the first item on our agenda this morning, and this is a resolution to approve the request for a temporary authorization from Canal Street Brewing, which is Founders, at 235 Granville for the 2017 Founders Fest, which is taking place this year on June 17th.
So moved.
Support.
All right, welcome. Do you want to tell us about this? I think we're all familiar with this event each year. Is it different than last year?
Nope, everything is pretty much the same.
Okay.
On January 23rd, they submitted their application for the temporary liquor license permit to be used in conjunction with the 2017 Founders Fest, taking place June 17th. It has been reviewed by the required departments and is being recommended for approval.
Great. All right, commissioners, questions? All right, call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to a resolution authorizing alcohol at specific special events located on public property from March through May. In March through May.
So moved.
Support.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yvette.
So we have actually 3 new events. The Atwater Growler Gallop, which we're excited about, the Rollin' Out food truck, and the Hopcat Full Circle 5K. And all the events will be required to get insurance. And we're excited about the new events that are coming.
Great. So these are in addition to the ones that we've already reviewed and approved.
Correct.
Okay. And then as more events, maybe beyond May, come forward, you'll do a similar resolution and bring those forward for approval?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. All right. Commissioners, questions? Just a quick one. Sure.
Is the Rollin' Out food truck, do they serve alcohol in there? Are there regulations about alcohol in food trucks?
So the alcohol will be inside of Hartside Park, and the food trucks will be parked along the avenue there.
I see. Thank you.
And this is a new event that came out, I believe, was an idea that came from the Alliance on Livability. Is that right?
Correct. Livability and vibrancy.
And vibrancy.
And so we're working with DGRI and the Food Truck Association to roll out this event to sort of kick off our food truck season.
So Rollin' Out isn't a food truck. The name of the event is Rollin' Out Food Truck.
Correct. Correct. And we'll have about...
Sorry.
No, it's confusing.
We're trying to get about 5 or 6 food trucks to be out there, and they're all licensed through the city.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, Commissioners, next we have a resolution accepting the revised Phase 3 of the city's transformation plan.
So moved.
Support. All right, Mr. Talmamonte.
Smiling.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is what is before you is the revised plan. As you remember, on November 29, we gave you an update. This reflects that version of the plan. Remember, this plan, we will constantly be revising the plan just to reflect changes as we make decisions. We also want to make a note that as per your request, we are, there's a 2017 schedule included in the packet. There will be 6 updates, and you can see them from staff throughout the year. And then there will be 2 comprehensive updates, one in May and one in November, where we'll include the entire plan update, all of the value streams. But this way, you can, as we did in Phase 1, you can remain kind of following the plan and the work that's being done. Although, work is being done, I think it's a good idea to stay in front of the community and provide those updates throughout the year. So.
All right, I'll open it up for questions. Let's start with Commissioner Schaefer.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just have two kind of questions and points. You know, what's nice about this plan is really everything that we're looking to do as a city. All those ideas are in this plan, basically. If you have one that's off this plan, we should probably add it, but almost everything's in there. So, you know, two thoughts are on that. One is I think as we debate our budget, we should look at how it relates back to the value streams that are here, just to make sure that we're keeping focus on what's there. And then, you know, two that I just wanted to highlight. One's under the, let's see which one is environment, and it looked at looking at reuse and recycling options. One of the thoughts is to look at, and I know that there have been others who talked about how do we get our composting curbside, and then how do we recycle more and maybe look at using trash less. And so I'd like to look at that and make sure that this is part of our analysis through this cycle with the millage that's going to upcome. And then I also think the other one around that is just looking at the parking alternatives and kind of how we get in and out of downtown. I think what we're sensing here, and I think what was part of the last debate that we had really kind of talked about, how do we get people in and out? And I think that there's ways to say, okay, you have to increase some parking, but maybe there are even better ways of looking at how do we work with the transit system we have, because, you know, the other side of the argument, besides just driving your own car, everyone said I would, you know, take something if I understood it better or it worked better, or so whatever is not connecting those dots. I just think that that's important for us to talk about and then make sure that we're allocating funding in this next round, because it seems to be an issue that's starting to rise to where we need to really make sure that we can clearly signal what we're planning on doing to help make sure that we match that need.
Yeah, good points, Commissioner. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Lanier and then Kelly.
Yes, thank you so much, Tom, for this update, and thank you for putting together a schedule. I think that's so important. Two things. The way you have the split is kind of by function or activity as opposed to by the categories of the work that's outlined in the plan. So economic, social, environment, and governance. Can you speak to why
flow?
you were
Sure.
choosing to do it this way versus the other? And then let me ask the other question because it may tie into your response. Is there any way to have the other appointed officials report out on the elements within the transformation plan that they're responsible for through their divisions? I think it's important for us to hear from the city attorney and clerk and city treasurer as well.
That's a good point. An excellent point, Commissioner Schaefer. Before I address your question, Commissioner Lanier, you know, this plan actually is a comprehensive plan that includes all of the different initiatives that we have identified that are a priority for us as an organization. So it actually reflects, the changes in here actually reflect the latest three areas that we identified: pension, housing, to begin addressing those through the value stream that we have in here. As it relates to the flow of the plan, if you see on the front page how phase 3 is outlined, we have 4 different themes: economic, social, environment, and governance. And then inside of each one of those, we have different outcomes that we want to produce. So if you look at the plan, you see let's just pick the first page, the blue. Economic is the first theme, and within that, economic opportunity is the outcome that we want to produce within economic. You see that? So that's the flow that is followed with social, and then so you have the theme, and then you have each one of the outcomes that we need to produce. Following the outcomes, we have strategies, and then we have value stream attached to each one of those strategies.
Right.
One thing that I want to point out is that the sustainability plan actually followed the same flow that we have with the transformation plan. So we went through a process of revising both plans to actually reflect the same flow from the theme to the outcomes to the strategy to the value streams.
Okay.
And Commissioner, I think that's, if I hear you right, I think that was your ultimate question. The change in the format is aligned with the sustainability plan that we adopted last year that had these 4 categories. So that's why it looks different.
Okay, thank you. And then the appointed officials and their involvement in the updates?
What we can do is to include that is I will review the schedule, the 2017 schedule.
Not that you want
and-
more work,
and
sorry, but I
then
just,
The 2017 schedule and then
Kind of
add
curious to see
an
how Tom's
update.
going to respond for me here.
The 2017 schedule and then add an update of those value streams from the elected persons that are assigned to that.
okay,
So that way you can get an update from those individuals too. So
okay.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
bet you
idea.
do.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yeah, a couple things to piggyback on what Commissioner Schaefer said. One, last year during Art Prize, I know that the DDA and the county did a wonderful job in terms of recycling downtown, and I think I sent some questions to you about that at one point, Greg, whether we can look at that again and begin to do that year-round. If
That
we
was
could.
us, Commissioner.
Okay, along with us, but the county was involved as well as the DDA?
Well,
That's
the
what I
county,
understand.
because we bring them our stuff, but that was all us.
Okay,
But
all
yeah, they're
funded.
clearly partners, the
Right,
county.
right. But if we can look at doing that year-round in the downtown area. And then the other thing, as we look at addressing this parking issue, I too am hearing a lot from commissioners, or from constituents about how we can take advantage of our surface lots and parking lots, and particularly along the river, to get people in and out, and that could include our parks. So just to have that kind of conversation about how do we look, maybe not next year, in this next fiscal year, but begin to look at how we can move people in and out of downtown, and not just during the week, but on the weekends at least to some degree, particularly around special events, or maybe that's how it begins. But I think about Riverside Park and about how we're developing the Riverside, the whole river corridor, and that's a possibility for us to consider.
Yeah, good point, Commissioner. All right, any other questions? So what is before us today is to just